Hi, this is Scott Ryder, and welcome to Parkinson's Across America, segment 1 of 5. I want to give a special thanks to the Parkinson's Foundation. The folks at the Parkinson's Foundation work tirelessly every day to make life better for people like me who are battling Parkinson's. With that thought in mind, would you please consider giving? Click on the link below, whether it's $5, $500, or $5,000. Any amount will help in the battle against Parkinson's. Hey, I'm Scott Ryder.
And I'm Jim Morgan, and we're Parkinson's Across America.
Jim, when I look at that sandstorm that we found ourselves in the midst of, I had no idea at the time how symbolic that was as it relates to one's journey with Parkinson's disease.
Scott, that's so true. I mean, it came up so suddenly and so violently and unexpectedly, much like my diagnosis with Parkinson's and yours, I think.
And what's amazing is we sort of entered that sandstorm separate, and we came out of it together. And that's very much like people's journey with Parkinson's when they're first diagnosed. They get the bad news or what they perceive to be bad news. They don't know where to turn, but then ultimately they surround themselves with others and they travel on that journey together like we came out of that sandstorm together.
That's right.
Jim, I think our paths from date of diagnosis to today have been very similar in many respects. We were both diagnosed 18 years ago. Neither one of us understood what was really going on in the beginning. We knew something wasn't right. We sought out help and were told by healthcare professionals that we had Parkinson's disease.
When we got that diagnosis, we had that initial reaction that maybe our life was over.
Yeah, I think what we both learned very quickly was that our life wasn't over, but there was going to be a new way of living.
Scott, tell us a little bit about how Parkinson's Across America came to be.
Jim, if we go back a few years ago, we were both invited to be the co-chairs of the first ever Parkinson's Foundation National Volunteer Summit. And it was during that time that you and I were sitting around brainstorming about ways to increase awareness. And we realized very quickly, after spending time at that meeting, that hope and encouragement was just critical in people's journey in managing Parkinson's disease. So we thought, what if we could capture a glimpse of hope and encouragement by traveling across the country with a film crew? So we had a film crew of 3, and the 2 of us, we hopped in a van. We started on the East Coast, traveled through the mid part of the country all the way to the West Coast. We traveled over 8,000 miles across the country, interviewed more than 450 people from all different walks of life. And the end result is a 5-part documentary, 5 segments, each segment representing a specific geographical region across the country.
And this brings us to the first of those 5 segments.
In segment 1, we started out in the southeast part of the United States. Our journey began at the villages in Florida, then on to Gainesville, Florida, Franklin, Tennessee, and Savannah, Georgia.
From there, we began our journey through the heartland of America, meeting Parkinson's face to face.
first round pick by the Detroit Red Wings in 1978. And I played 11 years for 4 different teams. And
I was self-employed, played hockey and softball. I was a professional PA announcer for a professional hockey team.
I was chasing a paycheck, and all I was worried about was working or recovering from work.
A booming voice.
made some great friends, and it was a great opportunity for me to play.
And it all changed with Parkinson's.
So after 10 months, over 100 visits and tests, I finally was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Even the first time we heard the word Parkinson's, both of us were in denial. We could come up with many other things that would explain his symptoms.
After I was diagnosed, I didn't cry, but my wife cried. I didn't know what I was in for.
You were having trouble walking, a lot of shuffling, the freezing was really awful.
I couldn't walk through a door without stopping.
My wife left me for another guy. I had to sell our house.
My first symptoms were I was having issues with riding a bicycle and playing golf. I like to play golf.
My voice is going with the Parkinson's also.
I decided to stop driving on my own. This is what was starting to happen, and I said, I can't do this anymore.
We had railings in our house down to the bathroom, down to the kitchen. You had a lot of trouble with mobility.
Yeah, I was very immobile.
You can't walk or as fast, or you're slow to gait, or you're just not as fast as you were.
And what has been hard for both of us is friends that we have met with Parkinson's who are doing this and keeping everything silent and staying silent and working at very challenging jobs and getting up every day, no matter what, no matter when they need to take time for themselves.
I retired in 2013, and I could have gone a couple more years if I didn't have the symptoms that I had at that time.
After diagnosis, I wasn't able to go back to that job.
I asked Jim, I said, you now have a part-time career, and I'm going to ask that you devote yourself to taking care of yourself and doing everything you can, in particular exercise. And I did a lot of the research, but both of us took his new career very seriously.
Kelly had DBS done, and it was a failure, so he wanted to redo it, and we decided we wanted to go to the best place in the world, and we were told that was Gainesville, Florida.
And we came down here, it was 6 years ago, to visit one of Linda's friends who happened to also have Parkinson's. We went to one exercise class. This was on a Sunday. We were flying back on a Monday. I looked at her, she looked at me. I said, we're moving.
We packed up and moved. And
Started a whole new life down in Florida. And I never looked back.
And your first appointment turned your life from night to day.
For me, this is life-changing.
After medication was prescribed, I could tell an immediate difference. And
When I left, I folded up the walker after they programmed it and they turned it on. Folded up the walker, put that under my arm and put it in the garage. And that's where it's been.
I was able to put the cane away and just, start living an almost normal life.
DBS has been unbelievably good for me. It's worked like they said it would. It has taken care of all of my movement problems.
We have made a lot of progress, and there's a lot of hope.
You gotta go forward, look forward, create a new niche for yourself.
And I had to find a new way.
This is what we're going to do next, and this is how we're going to cope with it.
Now, 100% of my efforts is serving others, and I could not have a more fulfilled life than doing that.
I get up off the couch every day, exercise.
Take the word can't out of your vocabulary, because you can do anything and accomplish any goal you put your mind to, just with more time and patience.
You have to be tough to play hockey, and I think you have to be just tougher to be to have Parkinson's.
But once I came out, it was a blessing that I came out too, because the more people that know, the more support you get. The support is fabulous.
No, Kelly's not one to give up. He does have a lot of emotion, and he enjoys a lot in life. He's passionate about a lot in life, and he wanted to keep doing that. And I wanted him to keep doing that.
But I won't ever quit. No matter what happens. I think there's a reason why things happen. And I think that there is something better for me in the future.
Jim, as we began meeting individuals with Parkinson's and their care partners face to face, I think we both learned very quickly that what an amazing group of people that are fighters, are strong, they have a real strong internal fortitude, and don't give up in fighting that disease, which, as we know, is a progressive disease.
You know, it's so interesting that every person's journey with Parkinson's is unique and different, yet there's a common denominator there among all these people. And that is, as you say, this desire to fight and to never give up.
Jim, one of the things I've noticed after 18 years of battling Parkinson's is that in some respects, I think it's easy to overlook how it impacts others, meaning care partners specifically.
Sure. You know, in fact, I think oftentimes it's more difficult for the care partner.
And I think the people we met along the way, along this journey that were care partners, really helped to highlight that fact that the disease impacts them in many ways as well, not just us.
So let's hear from some of the care partners that we met along the way.
I was 7 or 8 years old when my grandfather and grandmother moved in with us in Savannah. And for us, at first, we didn't really have an understanding of what is Parkinson's, but we knew that it was something that required care and attention.
My dad was diagnosed at the end of 2020, but beginning of 2020, I started noticing the symptoms.
My wonderful grandfather, Pap, had Parkinson's, and we never knew it. We just knew we had to fill his coffee cup with half a cup of coffee. Never had any idea he had Parkinson's.
My grandparents had lived independently, and now were moving in with us. So through that, there was a lot of challenges that we kind of were part of, and we were part of his care journey as well.
He came to moving day. Didn't think I'd get emotional there.
As it started, it was kind of a lack of awareness. It was just our grandfather, right? And then as we got older and as his disease progressed, we were more involved in his care. And that was part of the journey and part of the relationship with our grandfather.
It's a little bit difficult being a caregiver, okay? Fortunately, in my case, I'm able to stay with Linda 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, okay? We have enough in common that I don't go away, okay? We go on vacation together, Okay, if we go to the grocery store, we go to the grocery store together. We go based on her feelings, if you will.
It was just line upon line, little by little. We just hung on to each other. And either you're gonna have a partner that's gonna do that with you, or they're not.
One of the things, too, we've tried to focus on is caregiving, because if you don't have an appropriate caregiver, it's hard as you move through the stages of Parkinson's to have what you need. You know,
it's been a real education for both of us to try to get along, you know, with this new challenge in our lives.
My favorite part, it was why he was one of my best friends, and to this day is still one of my best friends, because we all had nicknames as his grandkids, and for me, I was his helper. And so that was our relationship.
Jim, many of the couples we just heard from were residents of the villages in Florida.
You know, the villages is really a unique situation. Maybe 9 or 10 support groups specifically for Parkinson's. And it really emphasized to me the importance of community and how that factors into the care and support of people living with Parkinson's.
Jim, here are a few of the people we met that really, through their words and their story, demonstrate the importance of community.
We started our support group, and I was one of the co-founders originally. It started about last November. And one of the reasons is I ran into several people that I found out had Parkinson's after I'd been diagnosed, didn't know they had Parkinson's, and we all started talking. One of them had to quit playing pickleball because of the disease. So we started saying, well, I wonder what resources we have in the area. We haven't seen much or heard of much about it, but so the three of us started getting together and started looking, and then all of a sudden we realized that there were hardly any resources for us in the Glenn County areas.
We started this education support group meeting. Instead of just support, we call it education support, and we've been able to give a lot of information to a lot of people who are hungry for it. We don't even have a movement disorder specialist in the state of Mississippi.
So I believe that there's about 600 movement disorder specialists in the United States, and only 9% of people living with Parkinson's disease see a movement disorder specialist.
Well, that's why we got all the support groups, because we know that they need to be active, they need to get up and move.
They need a community. You have to have a community around you, and if you don't have a community, then what happens is they're shut in their house and they don't come out, and a lot of them are alone.
It came across that they were isolated, and because of the isolation, they felt there wasn't a lot of hope. We found that a majority, because of the hospital system wasn't working very well, that they were going to Jacksonville or going to Savannah, come back, and then there were no resources because they put no demands on the group.
We wanted to be part of a Parkinson's community that offered a network where people could learn to live well with Parkinson's.
But I just went to the Parkinson's meeting. I said, this is great. Because back up in New York, she had no support at all.
I come from New York originally, and now I'm living in the villages, Florida. And I belong to 4 Parkinson's groups, and they actually saved my life. If I didn't have them, I don't know what I'd do.
And then on our first meeting, we had over 80 people show up, and we were shocked. And so we realized that there was a bigger Parkinson's community than anybody realized.
We also attend several support groups, and the support group network here is like a place where friends become family.
The support group provides hope for understanding the disease, interacting with fellow people that have Parkinson's, and it's a great outlet to compare notes and understand what other people are going through, and them understanding what myself and my wife as a caretaker are going through.
But you've got to not be afraid to talk about it and get out there. And I think because if you keep talking, you build your network and build your community.
It's a journey that we all take together. And I think that's one of the main messages I like to deliver when new folks come into the community, is that you're not on this journey by yourself.
You are the organization aspect of that, and you bring them in, and then all of a sudden you have a community that you didn't have before, and the hope that they know that they're there and you care, and it really makes a tremendous difference. So
we've been able to share so many tips and resources that we have available to us with other people.
We say that we exercise, communicate, and socialize every day, and we help ourselves by helping others.
And it all just falls and start talking to people, because it's amazing how many folks want to help you.
It's been a real journey just for the first few years of Parkinson's. I've learned a lot, and definitely a team effort. And we've learned to be a team, I think. And for all the surprise at being diagnosed with Parkinson's, we've met so many wonderful people that have given us hope, information that's proved invaluable, a lot of it from the Parkinson's Foundation, and we're trying to bring that information and that sense of community to our small community there in Glenn County, Georgia.
So we know that Parkinson's disease isn't specific to any gender, race, or any label or identity that anyone can feel comfortable fitting themselves into. And we know that Parkinson's does not just affect one region of the country, one state, one environment. It's across the nation and even across the world. And so the Parkinson's Across America campaign is really bringing a lot of attention to large communities, small communities, communities who may not even have heard the word Parkinson's, and really offering a moment of awareness to bring specialized care and support and resources that people have needed for so long.
They have to remember the words of Winnie the Pooh, because you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. So you can do this, and we can all learn to live well with Parkinson's.
Scott, it's clear from the people that we just heard from that the power of community is absolutely essential. It is not a disease that anybody should endure alone.
Jim, I think one of the amazing things about the journey Parkinson's Across America wasn't just the opportunity to meet people in the Parkinson's community, but the opportunity to see this amazing country we live in, the geography, the lifestyle differences between people in all different parts of the country, the natural beauty. At times it felt like we were a group of college kids in a van making a trip, just the pranks we played with each other, the laughs we had. It was an amazing journey, ways that I never anticipated.
The scenery was unbelievable. The vastness of the country, the diversity of the people. We had a pretty good time along the way, didn't we?
Well, Jim, I think at times you probably thought we were having too good of a time. I think if we all had to vote, we would have called you the principal, and you're in a van with middle school students, because some of the pranks we pulled on each other and just fun things we did, you kind of reeled us back in and kept us in check so that we didn't go too far. But we have to admit, we had a lot of fun on this trip, a lot of laughs.
Somebody had to be the grown-up.
Jim, our travels took us to the central part of Tennessee to a town by the name of Franklin. Beautiful area, filled with lots of history, but I think the one thing we'll never forget is Taylor, our chief videographer, in the van.
In the van. What a story that was. Taylor decided to go out for some B-roll that night. Came back to us and admitted that he had a little run-in with a parking garage.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go into a lot of detail about that, Jim. We'll just say if certain part of the van met a very solid structure, he was given a name.
I think we called him Crash, did we not?
Indeed. Our primary reason for going to Franklin, Tennessee, Jim, was that the Parkinson's Foundation was hosting a regional volunteer summit.
The Parkinson's Foundation celebrates the power of volunteers, and it's an amazing commitment that people bring to the foundation to make life better for people living with Parkinson's every day.
Being part of the People with Parkinson's Advisory Council for Parkinson's Foundation has allowed me to see some of the best volunteers across the nation that are on this panel. I've been able to learn so much from everyone there.
For me, Parkinson's is a passion because of my grandfather and the connection I have to him. And so, you know, through that, I've been able to, you know, lead in with that example as well as stay connected to my granddad.
It's really given me a lot of opportunity to connect with other people that also have some relation to Parkinson's. I've met other kids whose parents have Parkinson's, and there's a unique connection between all of us in that position because it's just really tough seeing our loved ones, you know, struggle with this.
I really do believe that, you know, if you see someone doing great things, it inspires you to want to do great things. And so events, going to volunteer, give my time freely to help coordinate the annual event in Atlanta, I believe that that example is what will lead others to want to do that.
Then there was a victory tour that came around, and Parkinson's Foundation was leading a table. They had a table there, and Kristen Trulock was there, and we started having a conversation. And I said, you know, Baton Rouge would be a great place to have a moving day walk. And so several months after that, she called me, and we began planning to have a moving day in Baton Rouge.
He came to Moving Day in Atlanta at the end of last year, and it was such an incredible experience for him to see a lot of other people that suffer from the same disease celebrating and laughing, walking in this symbolic walk that just means so much for so many different reasons, but just this message of hope. And love, and it's really a celebration of life and just this unity of people that suffer from the disease and those that walk with them through the disease. And
for me, we show up before the sun is up because we're setting things up, getting it ready to go. And I feel my deepest connection with my grandfather at the sunrise point. Right? It's the calm before the storm, but it's the closest connection I get to him every year.
it just gives so much to everyone that's involved with the family, their friends. I had probably 10 of my friends at the event that came to support me and my dad and just the mission. And just when you actually get to see the people that you're working with, the community, and like shake their hands and see them smile, it like makes all of the work you do worth it. And I don't care if you don't have any direct connection to this disease. This is one of the few organizations that I've been a part of that really has a tangible event that really connects everybody together. And it's just such a positive environment and experience that I don't care who you are, you're going to be inspired by it.
You know, I think one of the things that is so vital to be taught is the value of helping others. That's not something that is natural to everyone, right? We can be, as individuals, very selfish at times, And when you have someone in your life from when you're a very young person all the way through to when you become an adult who, without even kind of any fault of their own, needs help, it can be a blessing in the lesson that you learn.
So whether it's Parkinson's or something else that directly affects you or your family, it's a matter of finding what that is and caring deeply enough about it that you want to devote as much time as you have available to it.
So I am actually a much different person than I was before I had Parkinson's. And, you know, like my wife says, we wouldn't wish harm on anybody, but if it had to happen to somebody, it's good it happened to me because I've been able to turn it into something positive.
Jim, you can plan and prepare for a journey like this, but never having done anything like this before, you can't anticipate for everything. The amount of organization and energy required just on a daily basis was phenomenal. And I know one thing I realized, that I was not keeping up with my exercise regimen along the way. And I think that made it challenging at times, but it really emphasized to me the importance of exercise and wellness overall in the battle against Parkinson's.
You know, one of the very first things that I learned when I learned about Parkinson's is the power of exercise. That's essential to mitigating the symptoms and to holding them at bay.
No doubt.
When I went to the first neurologist, he asked me, what are your issues? And I said, I can't hit my 8-iron 150 yards anymore. And he laughed and he said, well, take some of these pills and see if it will help you hit your 8-iron again. And I laughed at him and I said, if you could take a pill to make your golf game better, don't you think everybody would be doing it? So it made no sense to me at all, and I finally had a DAT scan, and that's when we found out the dopamine was not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
We're educating everybody to the fact that the medication is will treat the symptoms, but the exercise actually will treat the disease, either slow it down or reverse it in a lot of cases. So that's what we're trying to get.
I went to a boxing class, a Rocksteady boxing class.
And now we go 5 days a week, we have exercise class. And the other 2 days we have a TheraCycle and stuff, so we have enough to keep us exercise basically 7 days a week.
And he keeps himself very active, which I wish more people would do and understand how being active is so important, doing whatever you can do.
The girl that taught the boxing class at the time, she put everybody on Facebook. So I started getting calls from people, from my golf friends and everybody else. And so
just exercising and walking, it's trying. It's like, you know, you can't just sit in your house and watch TV. And
for him, it's pickleball, it's swimming, it's he used to play racquetball. He says he can't do that anymore, but he keeps boxing. Boxing is a big one.
I quit playing golf, quit the country club for a couple of years, and now I'm back playing golf. But horrible, but love being out there. So it's good. It's good.
he golfs every day. He gets up, every day. He walks, you know.
Sometimes he gets tired, but you know what? I can see the difference in him from when he was first diagnosed to now, and I feel like he's almost gotten better in some respects. It's kind of crazy.
If I had advice for someone who's diagnosed with Parkinson's, I would actually tell them to see a movement disorder specialist and to take your medications on time and to start exercising today.
Jim, we know that exercise is the only thing proven to slow the progression of Parkinson's. There is no medication that does that. What's been your kind of exercise of choice?
Well, Scott, Rocksteady boxing has been my preferred exercise. I enjoy the community in particular, but also the physical activity, as well as yoga. I learned from an early stage of my disease that yoga was essential for balance and offsetting the progression.
So there's so many options related to exercise in Parkinson's. For me, it's been cycling, but for you, it's Rocksteady, boxing, and somebody else, it might be dance. But one thing that's often overlooked is the cognitive aspect of Parkinson's. And there is a mental aspect or cognitive aspect which takes us right into
mindfulness
and meditation.
Throughout the community, I've seen a pattern of people, the community, just wanting to learn more holistic approaches on how they can treat and manage their Parkinson's symptoms. And as a meditation teacher, leading Mindfulness Mondays through PD Health at Home has really given a community, a safe community for people to learn these techniques of meditation, such as breathing, a tool that we have, that we were born with, to help manage anxiety and depression, and also some of that cognitive cloud that people with Parkinson's might feel. So also offering these holistic approaches to Parkinson's disease as a toolbox for someone living with Parkinson's and even for the care partner. Research shows that meditation, consistent meditation, can actually increase natural levels of dopamine in your brain and reduce levels of stress and anxiety. So if you're interested in learning about meditation techniques that you can practice at home or anywhere in your life, you can visit parkinson.org/pdhealth.
Our journey then took us to Gainesville, Florida, where we visited the Norman Fixell Institute, which is designated as a Center of Excellence by the Parkinson's Foundation.
While at the Center of Excellence, we had the good fortune of being hosted and met by Dr. Michael Oken, who is the medical advisor for the Parkinson's Foundation. Dr. Oken is also well known throughout the world as an expert regarding Parkinson's disease. You could say he's at the forefront of lots and lots of research and study. He's going to take us through a good explanation about what is Parkinson's disease.
Parkinson's disease, it might surprise you, isn't just a disease of the brain. In fact, some people have commented that it might be the most complex disease in clinical medicine when you consider all of the different subtypes and symptoms. So you can have it with tremor, you can have it without tremor, you can have it with stiffness, you can have all sorts of issues that are not even visible. So you can have depression and anxiety and other things. And we've learned that Parkinson's disease, which we used to think was just a disease of a little cell in the brain that has something to do with a chemical called dopamine, is much more than that. And we're finding Parkinson affects the brain, it affects the skin, it affects multiple organs, and so it's a much bigger disease than just a disease of the brain, and can have effects on folks that get it that can span lots of different symptoms and can require medications, behavioral treatments, surgeries, and so it's a stunningly complex syndrome. And think about it not as Parkinson's disease, but Parkinson's diseases. Some experts have even gone to the extreme of saying maybe there's a different Parkinson's disease for every single person that has it. And I think that's probably the extreme end of that spectrum. But if we do, take at surface, at face value, that Parkinson is probably not one disease. We know that there are multiple genes, and then there are multiple factors that we don't understand that can contribute to it, and that there are probably lots of subtypes. And we see this in other diseases like cancer, right? And as we've begun to understand the little differences between cancers, it makes a huge difference in how we treat folks. So, my feeling is that when you have something like Parkinson's disease and you hear the words, "I have Parkinson's disease," it is natural to be demoralized by hearing that. Whatever the Mad Lib is, I have Parkinson's, I have Lou Gehrig's disease, I have a brain tumor, okay? It's normal. It's normal for you to say, that's not good. I don't want that. However, most people don't realize and don't step back and think we're all mortal. We all have a certain number of minutes on the planet. We're all going to be dealt different challenges. We're all going to have to rise up and live our lives. It's one of those neurological conditions that we do awfully well at. And when we think about how good we can do with somebody with Parkinson, we also have to think back to the idea that it's not just Parkinson's disease, it's Parkinson's diseases. There's lots of different kinds of Parkinson. And when we think about that, that means that some of the folks that have been in my practice have lived 20, 30, 40 years or more with Parkinson, and particularly with certain types of Parkinson, certain symptom profiles. And when you watch TV at night and you see all these cancer drugs and you see all of these things that are being developed that are great therapies, individual, personalized therapies for the type of cancer you might have, think of the future of what Parkinson could be like. Can we understand all the different subtypes of Parkinson? And can we put that big P? Can we personalize your care and your therapy? If you have Parkinson's disease, is this the end of your journey? My answer would be no. This is the beginning of a beautiful journey. You've just got to get a plan. You've got to adjust. You've got to adapt. You've got to wake up. You've got to be ready for the challenges. But you shouldn't get demoralized. And you should be thinking there is a horizon here. And as we start to move toward more personalized treatments, towards slowing down disease progression over time, we're like in Genesis now. We're already doing well. We're on that first page of the Bible, okay? Think about what things are gonna look like when we flip to the next chapter and the next chapter. And I think it is one of those stories of hope. It's one of those stories of faith. And I think that it's grounded, and it's something that we should think about. And the most important thing is that we help people with Parkinson to find their passion, find their purpose, impact as many lives as they can, but also that we're all mortal, whether we have Parkinson or we don't, and we can live a great life with Parkinson. That would be my message.
Scott, there you'll recall that we also met Amanda Fessenden, who is the coordinator for the Center of Excellence at the Norman Fitzell Institute.
Jim, we had a great dialogue with Amanda about what the significance is and what is a Center of Excellence.
The University of Florida is a center of excellence with the Parkinson's Foundation. We're actually one of 33 centers here in the United States. To be a center of excellence, you need to have strong education, be able to have good clinical care, and also have a good outreach into your community and research. We do these things at a high standard and make sure that we try to help as many people as possible.
Jim, we know that Parkinson's disease is a very complicated disease. There's so many issues associated with it. And I think one thing we learned along this journey is how important it is for people to seek care from the people that are best equipped and trained and have the most knowledge about the disease of Parkinson's. And at a Center of Excellence, that's what you have, is experts in the disease of Parkinson's, specifically people that are called movement disorder specialists. We know that only 9% at the most of the population in the Parkinson's world sees a movement disorder specialist.
That's right, Scott. And these are people who train specifically in the diagnosis and treatment of Parkinson. And that is why it's essential for people that live with Parkinson's to see a movement disorder specialist.
My name is Dr. Chen. I'm one of the fellow physicians at University of Florida, the Fitzell Institute.
Well, I'm Katie Harn, and I've been connected with Parkinson's for the past 15 years. And now currently, I'm working as the outreach coordinator for the movement disorder program with St. Joseph Candler Health System.
My name is Krista Ellis. I'm a community programs manager with the Parkinson's Foundation.
So someone who would come to the movement disorders clinic really ranges from any type of disease, but usually when they have issues with their movement. So commonly we see a lot of tremor type of patients that can range from essential tremor to Parkinson's disease.
So I believe that there's about 600 movement disorder specialists in the United States, and only 9% of people living with Parkinson's disease see a movement disorder specialist.
I think people should see a movement disorder specialist within the neurology practice because these specialists attend an additional 1 to 2 year fellowship in movement disorders after they've completed all of their training in neurology.
So when I diagnose a patient, I usually spend some time, kind of going through what are the things that I think are suggestive of Parkinson's disease, what I find on my exam, what they're telling me.
A movement disorder specialist is looking at you as an entire person rather than just a person who might have this disorder. They're looking at comorbidities and they're looking at how they can maximize your individual quality of life.
It's very important for me to understand what is important to the patient. What are their life goals? Being very active and participating in races or participating in dancing is very important to them. That's something we definitely can work towards.
I love working with movement disorder patients because, as my neurologist, Dr. Jill Trumbull, has mentioned, they genuinely want to get better. They want to prioritize their own health and they're very passionately dedicated to finding a cure.
I tell them that Parkinson's disease is a slow progressive disease. It's not something that happens in an instant. So because of that, you're able to prepare for it. It's kind of preparing for a battle in a sense, right? So you can do things to prepare and kind of slow down the kind of disease progression with a lot of physical activity and kind of working towards that to kind of minimize the kind of side effects that you'll have.
It is vital that our community of experts, medical professionals, really consider the opportunity to educate themselves in movement disorders so that we can continue to provide the expert and specialized care that our community of people with Parkinson's need and deserve.
So if I were offering hope and encouragement to people with Parkinson's disease, I would say that the playing field for treatment has changed drastically over the last 10, 20 years. The things that we have to treat Parkinson's disease and have patients live a good quality of life has changed tremendously.
It is so important to encourage young doctors to look at working with geriatrics and looking at specializing in movement disorders. This group of patients are some of the most rewarding and intelligent, caring patients you will ever serve. I never intended to work in any type of healthcare. I never intended to be involved in geriatrics. And I found myself going into that direction because of issues with my grandparents. And then I stayed because I had never felt so seen or appreciated.
Speaking of movement, one of the things that we learned along this journey is that Scott is no stranger to a microphone. In fact, we didn't have a mic check from time to time, we had a Scott check.
You guys name the genre. You name the genre, I'll come up with the song.
I think we should definitely
Pavarotti, Jim Morgan is my friend. I know he wants to hit me again. Jim Morgan is my friend. This is opera once again. How was that? Jim Morgan, he's my friend. That's all I got for you. Jim, I'm glad you enjoyed the Scott check since you were the subject of my great tune. But it just emphasizes the importance of speech and swallowing, which we're going to hear about next.
So my name's Nicole Herndon. I'm a speech-language pathologist at the UF Health Rehab Center at the Norman Fixell Institute for Neurological Diseases. As a speech-language pathologist, we help persons with Parkinson's with swallowing, speech, cognition, voice. One of the things that has been found in research is that at least 90% of those with Parkinson's disease will experience some sort of swallowing dysfunction, also known as dysphagia, over their disease course. So one of the things we like to do as speech language pathologists is get a baseline of their swallow function and then track them every 18 to 24 months so that we can really figure out what is changing. So as a speech language pathologist, we're considered a rehab therapist, and one of the things that we do with those with Parkinson's disease is teach them exercises and strategies for communications. And it's really key that you continue these exercises. So Parkinson's disease is a progressive disease, and so the idea of therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, is that you are fighting against the disease. So we are trying to maintain or improve function for quality of life and the things that you want to continue doing. And the only way to do that is by continuing these. The idea is if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So how can we help you achieve those goals that you have in mind?
You know, what I enjoyed about meeting Dr. Oken in particular was he described many of the different treatments that are available to people with Parkinson's, but also the importance of developing a very specific game plan based upon each individual patient's needs.
Jim, I think he emphasized the fact that Parkinson's is often considered, some people call it a snowflake disease. Every snowflake is different and unique, as is each person with Parkinson's specific needs. And you're right, he really emphasized the importance of having a game plan specific to what you need, which may be different than what I need.
So when we think about, treatments, and we think about, what is best for any individual who has Parkinson, after doing this for a couple of decades, I've come to the realization that the best possible scenario is when you have as many different experts or different medical professionals talking behind your back. And if they do that, then they're going to be working on your behalf, trying to think from every diverse point of view what could be the best way that we could treat you. And remembering that Parkinson might be the most complex disease in clinical medicine. That means that there are over a dozen different medicines. There are an infinite number of combinations of medicines, behavioral treatments, different forms of exercise. And then you have to decide, in Parkinson, should I pull the trigger for surgery, for brain surgery? And you say, from the outside looking in, you say, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? Like, why would I get my brain operated for Parkinson? Well, it turns out that over the last couple of decades, we've really begun to understand how the different brain circuits and regions are talking to each other. And by enhancing that understanding, we've been able to intervene either by blowing up or making a hole in the brain, or by modulating the conversations, eavesdropping on them and modulating those conversations. And so deciding when to do that, even though it is a surgery that doesn't have a lot of complications associated with it, it is a surgery that requires a whole team of people to both screen and decide who are the right candidates. And we've learned some really important lessons. So if you have a lot of this going up and down with your medications, they call that on-off fluctuations, surgery could be a good thing. If you have tremor, extra movement, shakiness, good thing. If you have the extra movements from dyskinesia that could be medication induced, good thing. But if you have walking problems, if you are having problems talking or having problems thinking, maybe not. And so you always want to speak to your medical team, not just your doctor, but the whole team that should screen you for deep brain stimulation. Everything we've learned about screening people for surgical procedures should apply to focused ultrasound. Think through the risks and the benefits, of that particular procedure, and with your team decide what's right for you.
Jim, Dr. Oken spoke about several different therapies, but one I know of which is of interest to so many people around the world, you have personal experience with. Dr. Oken spoke about DBS.
That's right, Scott. Deep brain stimulation surgery is a treatment that's been around for a while now. It's been constantly refined, but been very effective to treat tremors and the like, dyskinesia. It's something that, as you say, I personally have experienced and have done very well with.
Jim, we met a gentleman named Don Thomas, and I don't think either of us were prepared for what Don was going to share with us or anticipated what was going to take place. It was Friday, and Don was having DBS surgery on Monday.
I thought it was very interesting to speak to Don about the way he was getting prepared mentally and emotionally for the surgery.
All right, today is Friday. In a sense, it can be a good Friday for my Parkinson's. Monday, I undergo the DBS. That's something that I've been considering. I was diagnosed basically 10 or 11 years ago. And early on, I asked my doctor if I should consider it. And he, for several years, said, "Don, you're not a candidate for it yet." But now I am, and I'm looking forward to the process. This is going to be a journey. I've talked to several other folks that have undergone the DBS. It seems like almost too good to be true. It's scary in going into your brain, but I'm excited to think and believe that the progression of the tremors will cease. There's a good chance the tremors will cease altogether. Not a guarantee, but a good chance. I'm willing to take that chance. And I trust the physicians that I've talked to that are going to be doing the procedure. And I will admit I'm a little scared, a little nervous, but I have hope and encouragement because I have confidence in the doctors. I have confidence in the research. I have confidence in the support from my family, from our support group with Parkinson's. I just think it's something that we can do something about, and I'm willing to take this step and go for it.
We have here today Don Thomas, who's with us. Don is looking forward to having a DBS procedure on Monday, 72 hours from now.
So 72 hours from now, Don's life's going to change in a great way. He's a brave man. He's excited. And he's extended the opportunity, which I consider an honor, to, well, let me show you. Yes, he's asked us if we like to cut his hair. But in honor of Don's son, John, we're only going to cut half his hair. And for safety reasons, Jim's not going to cut any of Don's hair. So I'm going to do my best, and we'll see how far I get. But Don, we want to thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
This is really special. I want to tell you I feel honored to do this. And I want to just say my mom was a beautician. And you have a beautiful head of hair that most men your age would die for. Am I right, Jim?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here we go. Everybody say a prayer. I've never done this in my life.
Let's pray for Scott first and then for Don. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm not a barber.
Okay, Don, you ready?
I'm ready.
Jim, there have been numerous studies that have shown that, interestingly and amazingly, a hospital can be one of the most dangerous places for a person with Parkinson's. There's many factors that contribute to that. One is timing of medication, and we could go on and on. But the Parkinson's Foundation has created what many people still know as the Aware and Care Kit. Today is called the Hospital Safety Guide. It's an amazing tool.
My name is Rose, and I've been a care partner for 14 years for my husband who has Parkinson's. I am a retired pharmacist, so helping people navigate their health care was natural for me. And as an ambassador, we do this essentially with the Parkinson's Aware and Care Hospital Kit, which I have with me because we don't leave home without it. And in this regard, what's so rewarding to me is that we empower and encourage people to become their own advocates, especially if they're hospitalized. And all the tools that a person needs to do this are in this kit. There's educational materials and others to help them achieve this. And my husband and I learned this firsthand because Parkinson's patients are hospitalized more frequently than their peer non-Parkinson's group. And in January of last year, my husband fell and broke his hip. And this was during COVID. So he was in an emergency room for 10 hours. And I was in the parking lot of the hospital because I was not allowed to be with him. But he had his Aware and Care kit, and it was his lifeline. So for those 10 hours, he was able to manage his Parkinson's and take his medication, as we say, on time, every time.
You know, Scott, as we drove away from the Norman Fixell Institute, it really struck me how important it is to have just the right combination of care and the professional treatments that are specific for people with Parkinson's.
I think, Jim, it really highlighted the importance of seeking care at a center of excellence. Having a movement disorder specialist on your team allows us to have the highest quality of care that you can have.
That's right.
So Jim, after spending time in Gainesville, that van started going north. We headed to Savannah, Georgia, an amazing town filled with lots of history and a lot of stories on the streets in Savannah. But we went to what at the time was known as Meridian Clinical Research, and today is called Velocity.
That's right, Scott, and there we really learned about the importance of clinical research, something that, you know, you don't often see or hear about, and it is so important that people with Parkinson's know about it, know the importance, and know what benefits can be derived in a clinical trial.
Well said.
I recall a time in particular where we were anxiously waiting for the CEO of Meridian to arrive. And while we were waiting, you found a unique way to entertain yourself and
Super Bowl!
Super Bowl.
Not just any Super Bowl, the kind they made when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I actually bought it on eBay. It's the real dark green kind. Bashed it against the ground. It goes a mile high.
I know that.
But what happened? I don't remember the details.
Rubber ball.
Hey, my wife didn't know about it.
Okay. Wife doesn't get it.
There's a lot of technique involved in this. That is a Super Bowl. Fun. You want to try it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now the release. It's very important. It's got to go straight down.
Don't
It
break
goes
up
off at
the
an angle. It's all in the release, Wes. We'll give you another try. Here it goes, Taylor. That was a backwards wrist there. Thank goodness for that tree. I don't know, Taylor. Nobody has the technique that I do. Look at Wes, he's digging in the bushes.
I lost it.
Straight up and down. Don't trip over the curb. $75 going down the way of safety. Dangerous one.
Check him out.
So Scott, when we finally reeled you in from the parking lot in your Super Bowl, Nikki Osborne pulled up and invited us into the clinic where we talked a lot about, you know, the importance of clinical research, what that is and why that's so critical to what researchers are doing in the fight against Parkinson's. Before we go in to speak with Nikki about clinical trials, though, it's time for another Scott Check.
So, hey, this is Scott Ryder with Parkinson's Across America. You can see my trimmer. We are at Meridian in Savannah, Georgia. West ×2. These guys are amazing. And what's the right name I'm supposed to say? Not Willow. What is it?
Boom Fong.
Boom Fong.
Boom Pond.
Boom Pond is not something you smoke. It's a person. She was amazing. Absolutely amazing. She took a very technical subject and brought it down so a layperson like me could understand. So if you're watching this and you're with law enforcement, boom pong is not what you think it is. We're having a good time. Is there anything else you want me to add, Taylor? Okay, Taylor says to sign off. I'm doing my meds. I gotta take my medication. So signing off from Savannah, Scott Ryder, Parkinson's Across America.
Meridian is where medicine begins. We want to improve people's lives. We want to educate people on what clinical research is and get more patients to participate so that we can move medicine forward.
A clinical trial enables drugs to come to market. We are contracted by what's called a clinical research organization, or a CRO, who works for the pharmaceutical companies. They're kind of the middleman between the site and the pharma company, and we are charged with the task of enrolling the patients for these clinical trials.
Clinical research cannot be done alone. It is a team environment, and you have to be willing to work with many people. You have to work with the physicians, you have to work with other clinical research coordinators, you have to work with the people at the front desk, and most importantly, you have to work with the patients.
So we work with the folks at Meridian to bring in and operationalize clinical trials. So we have interests in neurology and neurotherapeutics specifically. That is, trying to find new treatments and implement the treatments we have for neurological diseases. And we feel that an important way of getting to the treatments that we need is to participate in the trials to get new drugs out, get scientific data for them, get them approved and out so that they have broad access to everyone.
All the data that we collect as part of clinical trials goes to be reviewed by the FDA in order for the drug to be approved.
So for someone who's been recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, there definitely is an opportunity to participate in clinical trials. All the medications we've had is just to make things better temporarily. We don't have anything so far to change the course of the disease. The way we're going to get there is to do clinical trials. So anyone with Parkinson's disease, especially newly diagnosed Parkinson's disease, are the patients we're looking for clinical trials.
I think anybody who has a new diagnosis, they're a little shell-shocked at first, right? So it takes time to process that. What we do with clinical research is we are coming in to be another option in your healthcare. So while you're working with your physician and you're going through your options for treatments and medications and things like that, we just want to be part of that conversation. Our coordinators come in and they talk to the patients and they explain what we do, why we're doing it, why is this clinical trial being run, what are we trying to treat, what is it, a symptom, is it the actual disease? And we take the time to sit down and explain and really help the patient understand. And then we let you go home and kind of go through that process when you are newly diagnosed.
The number one thing, you might hear me say it over and over, for us is patient safety. We do have an investment to make sure that these products hit market, but that being said, their health and their safety is priority as we take them through the clinical trial process.
And then we follow up and we answer more questions and we have you come in and we talk to you. It's not like your normal doctor's office appointment. We're there to help answer any of your questions and to help you feel comfortable in an option that maybe you've never had before with clinical research.
There definitely is a benefit to anyone who participates in a clinical trial. If you have Parkinson's disease and you participate in a trial, you have the opportunity to get access to drugs which are going to be the next generation drugs for Parkinson's disease, several years ahead of the time that actually will be available out on the market.
I think it's really interesting that I've been doing clinical trials for almost 8 years now, and during that time I've been able to see several drugs come to market. The hope is that we can do that for Parkinson's as well.
We're not here to take the place of your regular doctor. We're not here to take the place of normal treatments and general medicine. We're here to be an option in healthcare. We're here to make medicine better and move medicine forward and give people hope and encouragement that their life is not over when they receive a diagnosis, but it's only the beginning of a new journey, and we want to help be on that journey with them.
Well, Jim, that concludes segment 1. We met so many amazing people along the way, traveled through numerous states, learned a whole lot, and as we leave, we're going to hear a great message from Dr. Oken. Next up,
segment 2.
One of the things that I think is important to keep in mind when we think about Parkinson across America is think about it about Parkinson across the Americas, North America and South America. Think about it Parkinson across all continents, all regions. And a joy in my life is meeting all of the people across the world with various forms of Parkinson's disease. And I say that because they've inspired me. And when you travel, and when you look, and when you see, and when you realize that we have a number of people that are fighting, surviving, developing compensations, learning together, moving together as a community, we think about the road. And so when I think about the greatness of Parkinson's across America, I'm thinking about roads, I'm thinking about the philosopher Lejeune, I'm thinking about how there were no roads until we walked on them. And if we're going to get ahead with Parkinson, we're going to need as many people as possible to walk on those roads. And by walking on those roads, we will make new roads. And when we think about a disease like Parkinson, and we think about Parkinson's across America, the next project that I would challenge would be Parkinson's across the world. Because if we amplify our voices and we come together as one, we will realize the potential of a grassroots movement that can move and make that funnel so much larger, so we quit arguing with each other about things that don't work. 95% plus of all medical research isn't going to work. It's what we learn from those things when they don't work. Our funnel needs to be 10 or 15 times larger in the number of projects, the number of approaches, the diversity in how we're looking at this disease for us to push forward and to really get to some of those breakthrough or inflection moments. So Parkinson's across America to me is just the beginning, and I'm excited to see how it's going to span and travel across the globe.
I am the face of Parkinson's.
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 Welcome to Parkinson's Across America. My name is Jim Morgan.
And I'm Scott Ryder. Did you ever imagine that we were walking into a dust storm?
No, because the sand just penetrated my pupils and there was a stinging and it just really was painful. But the producer kept saying, move on, move on.
Move on.
Meantime, my eyeballs were being damaged.
Scott, what is Parkinson's Across America?
It's a story about a fish that got lost at sea. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Dr. Bryce Kretemeyer. He's from Suffolk, outside of Chamberlain, England. His PhD is in psychodevelopment. He receives the credit for having developed more than 100 psychos. They're in prisons all throughout the world.
Hello guys, how
I
are you
give you
doing?
my seat, bud.
What questions do you have, Dr. Morgan, for Dr. Kretemeyer?
Well, tell me where you select your particular source of psychos.
I usually get them from Miami's a good one. Florida, Miami it goes crazy. And you know, this is actually one of my first participants in my program.
To people that are newly diagnosed.
I don't know if you know, but he has Parkinson's.
So does he.
Oh, I forgot.
Sorry to tell you that.
Okay.
But don't worry, it's not contagious.
Yeah, thank you.
Probably didn't teach you that in medical school.
Scott, here are the few of the people that here's Scott.
Yes.
Scott. Scott.
Five.
Means Bryce thinks we need help.
I know.
Get the jiggles out.
We don't need
The
jiggles.
jiggles.
Yeah, let's try it one more time.
The jiggles need to get out.
What I want to say is, yeah, that.
I'll give you a countdown.
Okay.
Look at this.
When Jim and I,
Wait, he's going to give me the countdown.
that's what he did, honey.
Oh.
Sweetie, what do you think 3, 2, 1 was?
I have an incurable brain disease. I'm sorry.
It's raining. Raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the guys whose eyes will soon be turning red.
You got Snapchat?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Do you know about Google, Jim? Have you ever heard of that?
Vaguely familiar with it.
Jim just knows about books and reading probably very big books. And you know me, like I can have a book, but like I don't like really reading books honestly too much. I actually really don't. 10 hours go by. Don't even eat.
Here are some of the people that we met along the way who way. No, I think that stop it. Scott, you
Jenny Mac! Here we go.
The story of the day, shark in the river.
Shark in the river.
Savannah, Georgia, the world's largest great red shark has been spotted, much to the chagrin of the neighbors and the locals. We'll be cutting live on scene in just a minute. Jim, back to you.
Let's pull out those magnets, Scott. Catch some reds.
Taylor, you were cynically insane with that thing. I just want you to know that.